Part 1. The house calls. I don't know when the idea first took root in my mind, but once it was there, it grew like a creeping vine, twisting and entangling my every thought. I was moving into a haunted house for a week. The place had a name that sent shivers down the spines of the locals, the Eldridge House. It sat on the edge of town, a looming Victorian mansion with spires that clawed at the sky. The windows stared like soulless eyes, and the rumors? They were endless. They spoke of disappearances, unexplained deaths, and a particular room on the top floor that no one dared to enter. It was perfect. I'd always been fascinated by the paranormal, but this time it wasn't just curiosity, it was a challenge. A viral one. My YouTube channel had grown, built on urban legends, late-night investigations, and dives into the macabre. This haunted house would be my magnum opus. My viewers were already waiting, buzzing with excitement. The first step onto the grounds felt like breaking an unseen barrier. The iron gate groaned as I pushed it open, its rusted hinges shrieking in protest. Gravel crunched under my boots as I made my way up the long, winding path. The air was colder here, biting through my jacket, and the silence was unnerving. The house towered over me, every inch of its decrepit frame screaming of things that should have been left buried. The porch sagged beneath my weight as I approached the door, but it held, as if daring me to proceed. I turned the key that had been mailed to me anonymously after I'd announced the challenge. It slid in smoothly, but the lock resisted as though the house itself hesitated to let me in. With a firm twist, the door creaked open, revealing a cavernous entry hall shrouded in shadow. The air inside was heavy, like stepping into a tomb. Dust motes danced in the weak sunlight filtering through cracked curtains, and the smell old wood, mildew, and something faintly metallic clung to everything. I set up my camera equipment, talking animatedly to the lens to mask my growing unease. Welcome to the Eldridge House. For the next 7 days, this will be my home. They say it's haunted, cursed, and maybe even alive. Let's find out, shall we?
The first night was uneventful, at least at first. I explored room after room, marveling at the eerie stillness. Each space seemed frozen in time. Portraits of unsmiling figures lined the walls, a grand piano sat untouched, and the furniture was draped in sheets that looked more like shrouds. Around midnight, the first strange noise came. A faint scraping, like nails against wood, coming from somewhere above me. I froze, the hair on my arms standing on end. I called out, half joking, "Hello? Is this where the haunting starts?" The sound stopped. I laughed nervously and went back to reviewing my footage. But then, just as I was about to shut off my camera for the night, I saw a fleeting shadow darting across the far end of the hallway. "Did you see that?" I whispered, leaning closer to the screen. Replaying the footage only confirmed what I'd seen. It wasn't my imagination. There was something here. I should have felt scared. Instead, adrenaline coursed through me. The game was on. But as the night wore on, the house began to shift. Doors that had stayed firmly shut now stood ajar. The faint scent of lavender wafted through the air, growing stronger as the hours ticked by. By AM, I was lying in bed, my eyes fixed on the ceiling. The whispers started, then soft, unintelligible murmurs that seemed to come from the walls themselves. Sleep was out of the question. By dawn, I knew one thing: the house wasn't just haunted. It was alive, and it had noticed me. To be continued.